Okay, I need a rapid fire through like a lot of things because yes, there's a Hot Ones episode, but come on. If you see the title, if you see the title of the YouTube video, you know what the meat and potatoes of this video is going to be. But before we get into that, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see, what's my low? I guess my low is that I procrastinate getting out of bed. My high includes going to Trans Am night at Illegal Tap House. Saw my family yesterday, but most importantly I saw Hot Ones. I saw Hot Ones yesterday, but also most importantly, I saw the Odyssey, which yes, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be the meat and potatoes of this video because holy cow, there's a lot to unpack here. And what's my act of kindness? My act of kindness was I held the door with some people. No, really, I really did hold the door with some people. Like, as I was walking out of the mall, there was some elderly people coming who actually were in the showing of the Odyssey that I saw. And, I held the door for them. Okay, so... Oh, shoot. Hold on. For real, though, I'm so excited for talking about the Odyssey, I completely forgot who yesterday's Hot Ones guest was. Matthew Hernandez, I think. I hope I got that right. Marcelo Hernandez. Right. Marcelo Hernandez. Wow. Can you tell I really want to talk about the Odyssey? Okay, but yes, Marcelo Hernandez was on Hot Ones, known for being the first Gen Z person to be cast on SNL. And, in fact, there were several questions about being on SNL, but he's also promoting, his new stand-up special that's on Netflix, I think it's called American Boy, I think is what it is. And in the special, he talked about how he grew up surrounded by, there's a lot of women in his family, which, which gave him a different perspective of how to not just look at women, but see other people in general. For him, it actually, for starters, it helped him learn to empathize, but also the idea of, how women get ready, spend hours getting ready for a date, even longer talking to, their friends about it. It's pretty much an event, and the guy that they wind up going on a date with is either a no-show or he does not live up to expectations. Ladies, let me be the first to tell you that I would never do that to you. I wouldn't stand you up. It's possible it is possible I really could not live up to someone's expectations. Okay, so they talk about having the banger sketch on SNL. They talked about the secret to the perfect Cuban croqueta, food from the Dominican Republic like mango and sancocho, drinking cafecito with Cuban toast. He talked about how different the vibe and culture is when he went from living in Miami to moving to Cleveland, and how people are vastly different in both areas. He talked about Miami as a comedy city and the awesomeness that's Mary's Coin Laundry. He talked about a really bad experience so basically at one point he tells a story about this one party that he really wanted to go to, and his mom made him promise that if you want to go to this party, be good in school and have your teacher write a note saying that, you're good to go. So he tries to be good. And the teacher says he was mediocre, and his mom got upset with him. So needless to say, he didn't go to the party. That's harsh, by the way. That's actually a really harsh story. They talked about how the Dominican Republic produces really great baseball players, being the equivalent of like Brazil producing a lot of great soccer players. They talked about how he used to write headlines, and he would hear, and basically this is the bomb, and Sean like gives him like some headlines, and are they from Miami or are they from somewhere else? And honestly, I think even with the bomb, I don't think he would, even if he wasn't suffering through the bomb, I don't think he would have. I think he would have done well anyway. When you get to the ninth inning, it was just him more reacting to the bomb, but also pointing out how one of the people behind the camera, on Hot Ones, is actually Miami Cuban. In fact, the guy in question looks exactly like Sean Evans, which, I mean, seriously, this episode was worth that alone. This was a good episode anyway, but just that moment alone was worth it. And now, for the last dab, Sean asked, what would a protective mom say about eating the wings of death? Like, because Marcelo Hernandez pointed out, like, his mom would understand, like, this is important because, it's promoting his work, but otherwise, she would say, don't do this. So, yeah, it was a great episode of Hot Ones. It was. Honestly, it was great. And honestly, I could have just said that yesterday's Hot Ones episode was great and that'd be the end of the video. But, yeah. Let's talk about the Odyssey, shall we? Well, first I should probably give you my overall history of the Odyssey itself, because I never read the story, but I do know that there was a famous Greek writer named Homer who wrote two very big books. The Iliad, which is essentially getting to Troy and the Trojan War, and the Odyssey, which is a man by the name of Odysseus returning home after the Trojan War. So, there's that. In terms of other forms of media that I've seen the Odyssey in, actually, it's not cliche to even say this anymore, but Simpsons Stan! Yes, my first glimpse of what the story of the Odyssey is actually when The Simpsons had one of those episodes where they told like 3 different stories, and one of them just happened to be like the Odyssey. Like, they did one of the Odyssey, they did one of Joan of Arc, and I forget what the third one was, but again, the Odyssey. So, based on that alone, actually, believe it or not, there were some things I was kind of prepared for in terms of what I was about to see. And listen, after Oppenheimer, in the past, I have made fun of Christopher Nolan, specifically for the Dark Knight trilogy. Specifically from the Dark Knight. Yeah, I have my feelings on the Dark Knight, but that's a different video for another day. But after Oppenheimer, I was convinced that this man could do no wrong. And it's really interesting that Matt Damon was chosen to be Odysseus, because I think whether we all knew it or not back then, when Oppenheimer was in theaters, like, because Matt Damon played a pretty significant character in Oppenheimer, like, that was a screen test. Like, we know Matt Damon is a phenomenal actor, and we know that he can carry a movie, a la the Jason Bourne movies, for instance. But when you combine that level of talent with Christopher Nolan's direction, just in a supporting role, you have something wonderful. If you make that into a lead role, I mean, I'm just gonna go out and say right now, this is the best thing I've seen Matt Damon ever do. By far and away. Actually, let me look up one thing. Oh. Okay, so if any of you are Matt Damon fans, I'm going to tell you this straight up. Because if you are a Matt Damon fan, then you probably know that he and Ben Affleck won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. But Matt Damon himself is yet to win an Oscar for acting. This is probably Matt Damon's one shot to be at least nominated for the Oscar. He was that good in this movie. I am not... Dude, this cast was loaded. The entire cast was phenomenal. Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o playing 2 roles. Samantha Morton, John Leguizamo, dude. Like, listen, I don't want to jinx this, but for me, I mean, again, you know, this was a treasure trove of phenomenal performances. But I said earlier that this is probably the one chance Matt Damon's ever going to have to get nominated and win an Oscar for acting. The same can be said for John Leguizamo. He was great. And here's the John Leguizamo's a great actor, but you know, everyone knows him for, you know, playing Sid in the Ice Age movies, which, you know, is fine. But John Leguizamo's a great actor. Honestly, it's about time he was given a role like the one he has. Anyway, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, John Barenthal, Himesh Patel, Bill Irwin, Elliot Page was in the movie. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Elliot Page is a trans man. He was a woman by the name of Ellen Page, who people growing up in my time knew Ellen Page as, you know, Babe Ruthless in that one roller skating movie, Juno, which was a great movie, but I swear it led to a lot of problems later on down the line in pop culture. And of course, Shadowcat in the X-Men movies. This is the first time I've seen Elliot Page in a movie. And you know what? I hope Elliot Page gets some recognition for being in this movie because he was outstanding. Everybody in this movie was outstanding. Seriously, the names I just gave you, that's like a fraction of what this cast has to offer. I mean, I guess Christopher Nolan proved he could handle a large cast, you know, look at Oppenheimer. But this took that and exponentially increased it for the better. I mean, this movie was outstanding in every sense of the word. This is the type of movie where if the actors I mentioned previously, you know, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, if any of these actors were previously unknown prior to this movie, this would be a career-making movie. The performances in this movie are that good. So yeah, this is my, I mean, listen, I'm sure I'm probably going to be seeing a lot of really great movies throughout. I mean, Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be coming out. Coyote versus Acme, I'm looking forward to seeing. And yeah, we all have Avengers Doomsday at the end of the year. And I'm sure those movies are going to be great. I can't wait to see and talk about them. Or Hex. Oh, Hex is going to be a great movie too. But if you're asking me what the best movie I will see at the end of the year is, yeah, I genuinely believe that this movie is going to be the best picture winner at the Oscars next year. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. This movie's going to win Best Picture. Christopher Nolan's going to get Best Director again. Matt Damon should get nominated for acting. John Leguizamo should get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Although I could easily see that going to both Tom Holland or Elliot Page. And again, the women actors in the suit: Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o. All three of those women are Oscar winners. So another Oscar to their name. Why not? Yeah, I haven't really talked much about the plot. Again, the Odyssey is a story of Odysseus getting home from the Trojan War and all the crazy stuff, meaning gods and monsters and all sorts of crazy things to keep him from getting home. And in the interim, there's a whole bunch of suitors who want to marry Odysseus' wife because Ithaca, where they live, needs to have a king. And Telemachus, who's Tom Holland's character, could take over, but he's too young and stuff like that. Although the end of the movie, in which Odysseus, spoiler alert, does actually make it home, and he's literally fighting off all of the suitors. You'd think he was Jason Bourne or something. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I had to do that. I did. That was so bad. I know. That was so bad. Yeah. What else is there to say, man? Honestly, what movie did I see this trailer for? I think the first time I saw the trailer for this movie might have been when I saw Superman or Fantastic Four: First Steps. And I knew that I needed to go see this movie. A movie that I waited roughly a year to see. And yeah, this movie was worth the wait. It absolutely was. Again, after Oppenheimer, I was convinced that Christopher Nolan really could do no wrong. Yeah. He did not do wrong here either. Holy cow, this movie was great. If you're a fan of, Greek culture, Greek literature, yes, go see this movie. If you're a movie fan at all, go see this movie. If you're a fan of any of the actors I just mentioned throughout the entirety of this video, which, come on. Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Samantha Morton, John Leguizamo, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, John Baratheon, Hamish Patel, Bill Irwin, Elliot Page, Benny Safdie, Will Yoon. The list goes on and on. If you're a fan of any of those actors, see this movie, please. This is the sort of thing, if more people see movies like this, we're going to get more movies like this. So, upon finishing this video, go see this movie. Please. So we can see more movies like this be made, and hopefully it won't take another 3 years before we see that, because, yeah, it was about 3 years ago that we got Oppenheimer, so, yeah. Hopefully it won't be another 3 years until we get a movie like this. Well, it may be another 3 years until we get a movie from Christopher Nolan, but, again, see this movie, so we can get more movies like this. Thank you. Hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to your channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm your homie. This video for all you guys watching. Joe Video. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to us, we're here to lend you guys back, take care, and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.